I may show signs of nervousness where I'm talking really fast, I'm blinking really fast, but I'm going to talk slowly and I'm going to take this video very seriously. So when it comes to heartbreak in general, you need to know how to handle it and you need to know how to react. And depending on how you react and depending on what you do after is the most important thing. And the other message that I was going to say in this video, so when it comes to heartbreak, you have to realize that when a heart is broken, it can also be healed. Maybe you're reminded of certain places, or maybe you're reminded of the person that you was with. And I'm not trying to do that through this video. You need to realize the root cause of what led to a heartbreak. And the reason why I say I haven't been heartbroken is because it's something that you need to prepare for if you can. Because it may happen, but you just don't know when. And there's a lot that actually goes into it, but I'll try my best to make the information as digestible as possible. And I'll try and make it easier for you to understand. So I haven't actually been heartbroken yet. And the reason why I say yet is because, for example, when you're with someone and you don't have these conversations openly of what it is that you want, you realize down the line, because you both want different things, that someone will get heartbroken. Someone else can have an anxious attachment to someone else. Or sometimes someone is like an avoidant. Because, for example, if someone's anxious and they're attached to someone else, you realize that they have the fear of that person leaving them and they have the fear of being alone. And the people that are normally avoidant, they are the ones that are breaking other people's hearts. It's not really people breaking their hearts. When it comes to heartbreaks, you can't control what actually happens and you can't control who breaks whose heart. But you have to realize that when you're going back into the past, you forget about your future. And when you have a heartbreak, you realize that because you think that that person is the one for you, but then they don't feel the same way for whatever reason, either they started to move to a different area or they just found someone else that's more compatible with them, you realize that because you think that person is the one for you, you stop looking, and then also you realize that you're blocking opportunities of other people meeting you as well. And when a heart is broken, it's because you're so focused on your past, you find it really hard to move on. But when it comes to really not moving on, you forget that you can have a bright future. And I was going to say as well that when it comes to your heart being healed, it's realizing that things do happen, but you're just choosing to think in a positive way. And sometimes all you really need is one heartbreak to truly learn this lesson. And I haven't had this heartbreak, but I'm just preparing for it. I know when you say it out loud, it kind of sounds crazy, but you have to realize that you have to start preparing for these things. It's not something that happens all in one night. You're actually being with someone through all the good moments and all the bad moments. And I wanted to say that when it comes to truly heartbreak, it's because sometimes people don't really expect it at all. Because when a relationship is going good, you think that nothing bad is actually going to happen. And I just wanted to say as well that, for example, good moments don't last forever and bad moments don't last forever. And I just wanted to bring this to your attention because, for example, when you have all these good moments, you realize that that's the things that you're thinking about when it comes to really your heartbreak. But then also you forget about the red flags that someone may have. And that's including yourself. Like, what red flags do you have of your own that you need to work on? I wanted to say as well that I'm not an expert when it comes to this. I do understand why some people may have more of a heartbreak than other people. But I'm just going to continue on this video. And, for example, when you're in a relationship, you realize that near the beginning, everyone has so much chemistry. You love the beginning of the relationship. And, when you say I love you to someone, you actually mean it. And you want people to say I love you when they actually mean it and not because they say it for the sake of it. But that's besides the point. You basically get butterflies when you're with someone, but then also you don't want to be with anyone else but that person. And I wanted to say that when you get too comfortable in a relationship, you realize that you start to ignore a person's red flags. And you realize that when you spend so much time with someone, you realize that one person is going to get tired of being with the other person. And that's always the case. I'm not in a relationship, but let's just use this example. Let's say that I'm the person that wants to spend time with my partner all the time. I realize as well that over time, my partner's not going to want to respond as fast because you can't have too much of a good thing as well. And that's what I wanted to say, because let's say, for example, you're really clingy and you just can't be alone. You realize that you don't even know who you are by yourself because your whole personality and who you really are is with that person. But in terms of heartbreak, you have to realize that you need to experience it at least once, because you need to think about the benefits and not actually all the bad things when it comes to heartbreak. And you know, when you're in a relationship as well, another thing that I wanted to say, when you're in a relationship, you start to forget about your friends, because all the time you're just spending it with your partner. And you don't want it to be that because you're in a relationship that you don't have a life outside of it. And that's what I wanted to say when it comes to heartbreaks as well, because you get super attached to one person, and you don't want it to be that you put a person on a pedestal, that there's nothing that that person can do wrong. And that's why someone that loves to communicate, they need to be with someone that likes to communicate. If you want the same things, you realize that heartbreak is not going to be as bad. And depending on how they really break your heart, it won't be as bad compared to other people. And sometimes they want to be with someone else, or sometimes they want to move to a different area, and that's outside of your control. And you have to focus on the things you can control. So you can control keeping attractive the way you was at the beginning, where you would have your haircuts, you'll be in shape, you'll be in the gym. You know, for example, when you are heartbroken, you realize that you're not ready to enter a relationship straight away, that sometimes you just need time to heal. But that's why time really heals people. So what I wanted to say, time actually does heal people. And you have to realize that just because you're heartbroken, that you don't want to give up on being with someone altogether. And maybe the person that you thought was right for you is not right for you, but then it led you to someone else. So I'm going to continue on this video, and hopefully you are enjoying this video, because it is a serious topic, but you should find ways of finding a silver lining. And when I mean silver lining, it's finding the positives out of everything negative. And I wanted to say that, you know, when people say that you're too young to understand this, you're too young to fall in love with someone, you're too young to even know what you're talking about, you have to realize that when it comes to really heartbreak, you have to realize that you have to experience it as soon as possible. So when you learn the benefits of heartbreak as soon as possible, you realize that it really builds your character. So when it comes to heartbreak, it really helps with your character development. You start to become patient with people, you start to forgive people, and you realize that things don't get to you as much. If you can't control how you react during the heartbreak, you realize that other people have that power over you, and they have power over how you feel. So basically, other people can do anything in any moment, and then they have the power over you, and they can control how you react. Because you know, when people don't respect you at all, some people are very like this, because they may just break your heart for the fun of it. But then you have to realize that if they avoid these issues, that it's not really all on you. But you have to realize that it truly depends on the situation, and it depends on the people that you're really meeting. Because you have to realize that if people aren't giving you the same energy back, then you have to realize that you have to leave before it gets really bad. And you don't want it to be that you're with the wrong person for such a long time, and that's time that you don't really get back. So that's all I really wanted to say, because some people, they would rather be in a relationship that's bad for them than to be single and to find someone that could be right for them. All you need to do is get your heart broken once and realize that you don't want to make that same mistake again. So that's all I got to say. And believe me, I should be taking a day off, because the amount of videos that I've done this week is outrageous. But again, thank you for watching, thank you for your support. And that's all I really wanted to say. You can comment down below your thoughts, and you can comment down below any lesson that you learned in a relationship and how the heartbreak made you a stronger person. The last thing that I'm going to say is that you can like this video, and you can comment down below your thoughts. And if you're new, you can like and you can subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of what I get up to. And I'll see you in another video.